Welcome to Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio, coverage of the National Conference on Philanthropic Planning in San Antonio, Texas. The conference is hosted by the Partnership for Philanthropic Planning. My guest now is Scott Janney. Scott is Executive Director of Planned Giving at Villanova University in Villanova, PA, and his seminar topic is Planned Giving During a Capital Campaign, Preparation, Execution, and Follow-Up. Scott Janney, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tony. It's good to be here.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
In terms of planned giving in a capital campaign, is it something that's often, do you see, put as an afterthought to a campaign, and
Too
you
often.
you don't want that to happen?
Right. Well, and also sometimes people say planned giving is not to be done during the capital campaign. The capital campaign is about immediate gifts, cash gifts. So let's put planned giving on the back burner for that. And of course, I asked my session today, yesterday, how many of you are either getting ready for, in the middle of, or closing down a campaign, and everybody but one man raised his hand.
Yeah.
So if you don't do capital campaign, you don't do planned giving during capital campaign, it's like saying you can't do it during weekdays or weekends.
Yeah.
Because it's always going on.
It's everything, right?
Yeah.
Weekdays or week. So how does the planned giving director then persuade the board, maybe which now has a campaign steering committee, or
Right.
or the outside the board's campaign steering committee,
Right.
And the organization's CEO, that planned giving does belong in the campaign?
Right. Well, interesting, because I've been involved in campaigns at various levels. Like I came in the middle of some. I've been involved in setting them up. I've been there, like, in the lull before you get set up. The best time is like when you're preparing for the campaign. You're setting up the campaign counting policies. You're hiring new staff that you can train to do it our way. So if you're there, you can set up a lot of policies internally that kind of move up the scale. And then people are asking, well, how should we count planned gifts? And you can say, well, this is the way our peers do it. And so it's interesting. I had a time in this session where I let everyone give like a 2-minute war story. And the thing that really influenced the boards of other institutions and of mine is not what are the NCPG, PPP standards, what does CASE say, but what are our peers doing?
Yeah.
Because they know that if you're at Villanova and Boston College is coming out of a campaign, that people are going to look at ours and say, okay, is this apples to apples? So they're very interested. So if your peers are a little bit ahead of the curve and start counting planned gifts in a more liberal way, then they don't want to get ahead of them, but they don't want to be
behind either.
Right, yeah.
So you can use benchmarking with
Yes.
maybe some peer schools that peer institutions. Does
Right,
not limit
not
to
schools,
certainly.
hospitals,
Right.
whatever, yeah.
That's just your situation at
Right.
Villanova. But so if you see some peers using and actively engaged in planned giving in a campaign,
Yes.
use that as leverage. Any
Right.
other suggestion for that kind of leverage?
It's interesting. One person said something about, I have this problem where I work, they don't care, et cetera. And I said, well, my best career advice is choose your boss carefully.
Yeah.
So get into a place where they're willing to listen and where they want to do things the right way and the way that helps planned giving succeed.
Okay. All right. So if we've overcome that hurdle, all right,
Okay.
we've
Well,
gotten consent. Oh, go ahead.
If the hurdle is getting the campaign counting policies broad enough and getting the major gift officers to buy into the campaign, then that really sets you up for success.
Yeah, and I was thinking of trying to just get planned giving into the campaign.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure. Right. Yeah.
All right, so we've overcome that. But now you lead to a great point. There has to be training
Right.
about planned giving.
Right.
We don't want only the director of planned giving
No,
talking about
that's
planned giving
sure
during
success for
during a
failure.
5-year or 7-year campaign.
Right. Absolutely.
Who should be engaged and activated
Well,
around
it's interesting. Volunteers need to be engaged. The campaign leadership, all the major gift officers, the annual fund needs to understand we're working hand in hand. And part of it is working with them, helping them. You help them and they help you. And the best way I found in training is to never say, okay, we're going to have a training about charitable gift annuity, a flexible deferred charitable gift annuity.
Yeah, no. Nobody's coming
Right,
to that.
right.
Even if you serve lunch, nobody's
right,
coming.
that's right.
Maybe over drinks. But
Maybe over drinks.
That's
but
just a maybe. Yeah.
Right. But if you say, I'm going to show you how you can reach your campaign goals doing whatever.
Right.
How to make your campaign goal and also to write into like the campaign thermometer to make sure that plan gifts are in the front page thermometer, not something way back down the list, that's everybody's goal to reach 300 million or 500 million or a billion, whatever it is. If it's everybody's goal and it helps them get the thermometer up, then they'll say, oh, it's going to help me do this.
Okay.
So make sure that they understand that plan gift helps them doing what they want to do.
Even before we get to this stage, what about in the feasibility study where key donors and other constituents are being interviewed? Don't we want to pepper that survey with some planned giving related questions?
Yes, definitely. And, I think probably if you get there at the end of the campaign or during that lull, that's the best time. I think consultants...
During what lull? What did
the
you
lull,
mean?
Well, there's either we're preparing for a campaign, we're inactive, or we're doing follow-up. But nowadays, at many major institutions, the follow-up is leading into the preparation phase.
Okay.
So there's a lull between, follow-up and preparation are both kind of passive. So in that area, if you get there, have an early consultation with the the campaign consultant, because campaigns are like, this is what we've been doing for 2-3 decades. We've been doing campaigns where people are experts at it, but those people aren't really the plan giving. They don't think of that first. They don't think of it second or third.
That's right.
Right. So I haven't seen much involvement like you suggest. I think it's a great idea. Get it in the original feasibility study.
Yeah, I like to see like 3 or 4 questions.
Yeah.
And if the interviewee is not the right age, then we just skip those questions.
Right. Well, but
have you ever thought about including the institution in your plans?
Right.
Have you done it?
Yes.
It all has to be crafted so it's a part of the larger interview. The larger interview, but yeah,
and my peers
like
Georgetown and Boston College, and if you're in some other institution, your peers are probably getting there too. Have a big, this is our $1 billion campaign or a $500 million campaign, but they also have this is the number of members we want in our Heritage Society. So if you're 32 and you graduated 10 years ago, you can still help that second goal.
Oh, that's true.
So you're not as important to that big goal because we're not going to count anything except the gift annuity.
Not from a 32.
It's not going to happen anyway.
Right.
But
and we'll get to counting shortly.
Yes.
But but in terms of having a different goal, as you said, members of the Plan Giving Recognition Society.
Right, and that's kind of that's not that people can look at that as that's the Plan Giving Office's goal. So you can kind of lose that a little bit, but it's still really important to have there because if we're getting near the end of the campaign, 7 years from now, 5 years from now, wherever you are, and we're making good on the one goal and not on the other, or even if we're not doing well on either, people are looking for successes.
Yep.
So once you put it in the counting policy from the beginning, then that's what you measure is what people do.
Yeah. And what drives them. Yeah,
right.
What motivates them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the training then.
Okay.
What are we training these volunteers, the campaign steering committee, all the major gift officers? To what level are we training them in planned giving?
It's interesting because the executive director of college and school-based fundraising asked me to do a training session a couple months ago, and it was about planned giving in general. But he wanted me to tell them, and the slide was, these are the DIY.
Yeah.
These are the bring in a little help, and these are the don't try this at home. Okay. And so things like getting to join our 1842 Heritage Society, and that's our Legacy Society. There's a form that anybody could fill out. They can get it online, but a major gift officer can bring it and hand it to somebody, get them to sign it. There's a specific part about what your gift is. Oh, you're okay.
Just to the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah, to the mic. That's all.
There's a specific part about what your gift is, but they don't have to deal with that. They just have to say, yes, Villanova's in my will, Villanova's in my IRA, whatever.
Easy. Anybody. That's the do-it-yourself.
That's the DIY.
Right,
and then, moving a little forward towards a gift annuity, getting some information like, is it a $100,000 gift annuity? And then coming and consulting with me. And then, I have this mortgage property. I want to flip CRUT with it, walk away.
Let's not get too technical. Right. Yeah, careful. Flip CRUT. All right.
Okay.
We're talking about, we have Jargon Jail. On Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio, I have
I'm Jargon Jail. Okay.
You're in. All right. 2 sentences. What did you mean when you said flip CRUT? Now you're in. We can get you out quickly.
You can put a piece of real estate into a charitable remainder unit trust, which is a CRUT, and you can say that it will not really give the person any money until the property's sold. And then once it's sold, they get an income on it for the rest of their life.
And explain the flip part.
The flip is when the property sells, or at some date that we define in the future, it goes from only giving you net income, which a piece of property might not give you any to giving you, say, 6% of the asset
Right.
every year.
The trip, the meaning, the trust flips
Trust
to a
flips.
different sort of trust.
Yes.
But it's all within the same trust document.
Right.
All
Yes.
I'm helping you. I'm helping you out.
But if
of-
that comes and you're a regular major gift officer, yeah,
You're
you
beyond
say,
do it
bring
yourself.
somebody from Plan Giving
No,
in.
now
Yeah.
you're into don't try this at home.
Right, yes.
But what you would say to the prospect is, I'd love to continue the conversation.
Bring with
Can
me.
we bring Scott in, or whoever you're,
Right,
whoever
or
the
Steve
Plan
or
Giving-
Susan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the training level. I love that, the 3 levels too. Very
Yeah.
good. Do it yourself. What was
Bring
it?
in some consultation.
Bring in some consultation.
And then don't do it at home.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right. So we've got everybody trained up. And they've also been trained on how to identify prospects, right?
Yes,
Things,
yes.
things to listen to in
Right,
an interview.
Right, yes. And specific questions to ask, specific language. Actually, one of my associate directors is working on what are the 3 questions to ask people and actually working on the exact wording of
Oh,
them.
you want to share them?
Well, he's working on them.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, what are some key questions
well,
that you'd like to
you
see
asked the
people
question
ask?
about, have you included Villanova in your estate plan? And, but the problem with that, he says, is that's a yes or no. So, have you ever thought of, he's trying to make them more open questions.
Yes. Okay.
Then-
Well, that is
and
good practice.
I said, these are the things I want to ask. And he said, well, let me work on, making them so they lead to a conversation, not a no.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Okay.
And there's a follow-up to the no, but still, would you consider, but, it's some questions about, who, it's easier to say, although a lot of major gift offers don't like to talk about death. And they don't want to bring, when
Yeah,
you pass away.
But I'm quickly telling them you're not talking about death. We're
Right,
talking about
the
your
legacy.
your
Yeah.
long-term plan and
Right.
your long-term giving to the institution.
Right.
This is not about your death, and the death only comes up if the gift officer brings it up.
Right.
Have you thought about your death plan?
Right.
Which is a disaster. Which is a disastrous way to say it. But,
Right, yeah.
It's not the, in my experience, it's not the donors or the prospects who say, start talking about death planning.
Right,
But just
right.
my plan for my
Right.
family or my plan for the institution. Whatever.
And we have to explain to some of the 20-something, 30-something gift officers
Yeah.
that if you're talking to an 80-something-year-old donor, they've probably thought about death. by
They
now.
are thinking about
Yeah.
it. They are planning for
Right,
it. And-
yes.
Right.
Yeah. But,
All right.
to make the questions open-ended so they lead to a conversation and to make sure we get the information we want. Because we want someone to say, yes, Villanova is in my will, and I will sign a document and let you put my name on the list so the other members of the class of 49 see my name and see that there are now 100 of us.
Yes.
That, and what it actually is, that's another conversation. Get another visit for that.
Yes. Right. Don't try to accomplish this all in a 60-minute
Right.
or 90-minute meeting.
Right, yeah.
It's a 7-year campaign.
Right, yeah,
We don't.
yeah.
It's not a sprint.
Right.
And then going back to your concern or your colleague's concern about not having yes/no questions. It could be something like, what things would you consider in deciding whether to include Villanova
Right.
in your state? What are the
Right.
factors you might consider? What things would go into your decision making
That's true,
about
yeah.
whether you would include
Right.
us in your
And then
long-term plan?
Then they could bring up their children or
Yeah.
not having children or whatever, and that you get some great valuable information there.
Exactly. Property may come up.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
we have this property. I've
This is-
never thought about
right. Mm-hmm.
it. The kids don't love it on Nantucket, which is hard to believe.
Right.
It's Nantucket property the kids don't love.
Right.
It happens to be on the ocean, but
Wow.
no. But
Yeah.
I mean, your colleague is right to be striving for open-ended
Right,
questions,
right.
because that is where you learn so much more. All right. So everybody's trained up. Everybody's sensitized.
Okay.
Their antennae are up about planned giving.
You're in heaven for me right now.
Okay.
so.
Good. All right. I can see you're on the edge of your seat.
All right.
The inquiries start coming in. Now, does everything go through the Office of Planned Giving?
That's a really good point. We have, the pipeline where everybody's raising money and they're talking about who's got a prospect and who has proposals out. And I am, as much as possible, saying this is a proposal by George, who's not one of my people. And it relates to Planned Giving, and my boss understands that I get credit for that in this other way, but in the
Yes.
main credit, I try to make sure that
George, the major gift officer.
George,
gets
the
it.
major
Yes,
gift officer, yeah. And
Oh,
it's
yeah. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up as a competitor.
That's
to
right.
the gift officers.
We don't want to be a competitor.
Start taking credit for everything.
Right.
Oh, there's, yeah.
And if
No.
George takes me to the visit, George doesn't get half a visit. George gets a whole visit, and I get a whole visit.
Okay.
Very
sensible.
So yeah.
So it's not a zero sum.
No.
But there are shops that are set up that way.
That's true. That's
and
death.
it really is. It's,
Yeah.
For your own internal I don't mean campaign, for your own internal, performance evaluation.
Right.
Why can't you give each person a full credit for a
Right,
full gift,
right. I mean,
for a full visit?
We both spent the
What's the
hour. We
difference?
both took the plane or the train
Yeah.
or the car there. Yeah. So
And then at the end say the numbers don't add up because the numbers equal more than 100%.
Yeah.
Because some visits had multiple gift officers.
right. Yeah.
That's all internal
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
Structure it any way you want.
Right.
Very sad though when I see that they're sort of pitting
Right.
gift officers against each other. Who gets credit?
And-
That's never going to lead to anything collaborative.
And this is the whole idea of the setup. Set it up that way. Make sure it's going to be counted that way.
Yes.
Don't go back and try to fix it later.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they think of you as a competitor, then you're having
That's
trouble.
it. You're set
Yeah,
for
yeah.
7 years. That's
Right.
yeah. It's very hard to undo.
Right.
Undo learning, as we
Right.
know. I'm still trying to master the 1964 tax code. So it's very
Right.
hard for me to get beyond
Oh,
that.
yeah,
And I was only
yeah.
2 at the time. All right, everybody's sensitized. The gifts inquiries are coming in. Let's
How about
talk
that
a
we're
little
exactly the same age? No, we're not.
I'm going to ask you now soon. I'm not right now though. What's your
Okay.
age? Then crediting. Let's talk a little about overt
important.
credit. Let's talk
Right.
about the public credit
Right.
for planned giving in a campaign. What are now? This is a day-long topic, at least, or
Yes,
half a day
yeah.
at least. But what can you say generally about that in a few minutes?
There, and this is one thing. I'm on the PPP board, and I in my slides in my presentation, I actually said the views of this speaker are his own, not
Yeah.
the views of the management.
Yeah.
PPP, the NCPG standards, which there's a topic about that later this morning, and there was one yesterday too, says we should have 3 different goals: one for immediate cash, one for irrevocable, and one for revocable gifts. And they should be 3 separate ones. I find that when a campaign reports, it reports one number. And I showed from October 4th, which is 2 days ago, University of Pennsylvania on their alumni news said we just raised $3.5 billion, not 2.5 of this, 0.5 of that, and 0.5 of something else.
Well, the public number is always
Right,
always one number.
So I'm a very strong proponent of one number.
All right.
But the problem is with that, if you have a $1 billion campaign and you have $800 million of stuff that needs to be cash, so how do you make sure you don't have 0.9 billion of bequest commitments, and
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
you're wrong, you lose. So what I try to say is we need to have the thermometer. The single thermometer gets to a number, but we have to say and tell all the major gift offers, tell the campaign people within that number, there's a number that has to be this first type of gifts. I know one
Again, this is internal now.
internal, yeah,
Back
but
office.
the
Right,
number
right.
is just the number. So if you
Yes.
have a $1 billion campaign, end up at $2 billion, and the last extra billion is bequest commitments, you report
Terrific.
the $2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt you in any way. It's recognition.
Yeah.
And I know one institution that said we have a campaign of $500 million, and no more than 10% can be revocable bequests. So once the first 50 million people, $50 million worth of bequests came in, they'd tell people,
No more bequests. That's
yeah,
awful.
Yeah, until somebody else dies.
Yeah.
They didn't say it that way, but you can't do that. So you can't put a limit on, say we're not going to raise any more than that in this category. You just say, we know the thermometer is this, but internally, this much of it has to be that first category.
The first and the
cash.
cash
Cash or
outright
cash within
gifts, yeah.
cash by the end of the
within
campaign.
the campaign
Yeah,
term. Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, I see. Yeah, so don't put a cap on the planned gifts.
Right.
Put a minimum on the
Right, yeah.
on the outright within the
Right.
campaign term
Right,
gifts.
but
Yeah.
that doesn't show on the thermometer.
Right,
The campaign
right.
thermometer.
Sole
is,
number,
is,
yeah.
is that that's not jargon, right? Campaign thermometer as well.
No, I think everybody understands
Okay,
that. It's
okay.
usually red and
Yeah, right.
so-
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.